Have you ever wondered why a small piece of land in the Middle East known as Israel has been at the center of geopolitical, religious, and cultural conflicts for millennia? To answer this question, we need to delve into the geographical and spiritual significance of Israel. Situated at the crossroads of three continents, Africa, Asia, and Europe, Israel has always been a significant location for trade, migration, and cultural exchange. This strategic position has made it a coveted region throughout history, marked by constant shifts of power and dominion. But it's not just geography that makes Israel significant. It's also the spiritual epicenter for three major Abrahamic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It's the birthplace of their shared patriarch Abraham and the setting for numerous biblical and Quranic narratives. However, the importance of this land extends beyond its religious and geographical attributes. This land's story is not just about religion and geography, it's a complex tapestry of human history. Long before it was called Israel, this land was known as Canaan. Canaan, a region at the crossroads of Africa, Asia, and Europe, was home to an early civilization that thrived for centuries. The Canaanites, known for their advanced cities and culture, were the original inhabitants of this land. They were skilled traders, artisans, and seafarers who left a rich archaeological legacy. But the Canaanite civilization didn't last forever. Around the 12th century BCE, a new group began to emerge from within the Canaanite milieu, the Israelites. This transition, as recorded in the Hebrew Bible, is often laden with myth and legend. But what do we know for sure? Archaeological evidence suggests that the Israelites were originally Canaanites who developed a distinct cultural and religious identity over time. The process was gradual, complex, and not without conflict. But eventually, by around the 10th century BCE, we see the establishment of what we can call the Kingdom of Israel. It's important to note that while the Bible provides a rich narrative of this transition, it's often at odds with archaeological findings. For example, the biblical account of Joshua's conquest of Canaan is largely unsupported by archaeology. So, while these stories offer invaluable insights into the beliefs and values of ancient Israelites, they should not be taken as historical fact. The transformation from Canaanite city-states to united Israelite monarchies sets the stage for much of Israel's later historical significance. Imagine your homeland conquered, your temple destroyed, and your people exiled. This was the stark reality for the Jewish people during the Babylonian conquest of Judah in the 6th century BCE. Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II laid siege to Jerusalem, leading to the tragic destruction of the First Temple, a sacred sanctuary for the Jews. But the hardship didn't end there. The Babylonian conquest resulted in the exile, a period of profound despair when a significant number of Jews were forcibly removed from their homeland. They were dispersed to Babylon, marking the beginning of the Jewish Diaspora, a term referring to the dispersion of the Jews beyond Israel. Fast forward to the 1st century BCE, a new conqueror arrived on the scene: the Romans. They seized control of Judah, renaming it Judea. The Roman rule, however, was met with fierce resistance, leading to a series of Jewish-Roman wars. These conflicts culminated in the destruction of the Second Temple in Jerusalem in 70 CE and the subsequent exile of the Jews from Judea. These conquests and exiles scattered the Jewish people, setting the stage for a diaspora that would spread across the world. The Babylonian and Roman rules dramatically reshaped the Jewish world, leaving an indelible mark on the history and identity of the Jewish people. Over the centuries, control of this tiny region passed through many hands. The Byzantine Empire, for example, held sway over Israel for several centuries, leaving behind a rich tapestry of religious art and architecture. Then came a wave of crusaders, whose rule was marked by the construction of massive fortresses and the introduction of Western European influences. The Mamluks, a dynasty of former slave soldiers, took control next. Their reign brought advancements in education and architecture, leaving an indelible mark on the landscape of Israel. Finally, the Ottomans arrived, ruling the region for over 400 years. They brought with them a new language, religion, and administrative system, leading to a period of relative peace and stability. It's fascinating, isn't it? Each of these ruling powers, from Byzantines to Ottomans, left their unique stamp on the region. Each empire left layers of influence, creating a mosaic of cultural and historical legacies in Israel. By the 19th century, a new chapter was opening for the Jewish people. As the winds of change swept across Europe, a movement was taking shape. This was the Zionist movement, a political ideology that emerged in the late 19th century, inspired by a dream, the dream of a homeland, a place where Jewish people scattered across the globe could return to the land of their ancestors. The Zionist movement was not merely a dreamer's fantasy, it was a response to centuries of persecution and displacement. Jews had been expelled from their homes, forced into ghettos, and subjected to pogroms. The Zionist movement offered a vision of hope, a future where Jews could live in safety and dignity in their ancestral homeland. At the heart of the Zionist movement was the idea of creating a Jewish state in Palestine, a land with profound historical and spiritual significance for Jews. It was a bold, audacious idea, one that faced considerable opposition. But it was an idea that would not be easily dismissed. In 1917, support for this idea came from an unexpected source. The British government, in a letter known as the Balfour Declaration, expressed its support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This declaration was a major boost for the Zionist movement. It was an affirmation that their dream was not just a dream, but a possibility. Yet the journey was far from over. In the years leading up to World War II, thousands of Jews migrated to Palestine, driven by the dream of a homeland and the desperate need to escape the growing threat of anti-Semitism in Europe. Each wave of migration brought new challenges and conflicts, but it also brought the dream of a homeland one step closer to reality. The seeds of modern Israel were sown as Jews, driven by millennia of displacement, began dreaming of returning to their ancient homeland. This dream, born out of hardship and nurtured by hope, would come to define the next chapter in the history of the Jewish people. In the ashes of World War II, a new nation was born. Emerging from the devastation and horror of the Holocaust, the dream of a homeland for the Jewish people took on a new urgency. In November 1947, the United Nations approved a partition plan for Palestine. The plan proposed dividing the land into two separate states, one for Jewish people and one for Arab Palestinians. Jerusalem, a city of great significance to both Jews and Muslims, was to be placed under international administration. On May 14, 1948, the day the British mandate over Palestine was to end, David Ben-Gurion, the head of the Jewish Agency, declared the establishment of a Jewish state in the land of Israel, to be known as the State of Israel. This declaration was a moment of profound significance, marking the culmination of centuries of dreams and struggles for a Jewish homeland. However, the birth of Israel was not without its challenges. The day after the declaration, armies from neighboring Arab states invaded Israel, marking the beginning of the Arab-Israeli conflict. This was the first of many wars and conflicts that Israel would face in its short history. The establishment of the State of Israel was a joyous moment for Jews worldwide, symbolizing a triumph of hope over despair, a beacon of refuge and safety for a people who had suffered so much. But it was also the beginning of new and complex conflicts. The declaration of an independent Israel marked a joyous moment for many Jews worldwide, yet also the beginning of new and complex conflicts. From ancient ruins to modern cities, Israel today is a country deeply carved by its tumultuous history. As we venture into the 21st century, modern Israel stands as a testament to its storied past. It's an amalgamation of old and new, a tapestry woven with threads of ancient heritage and cutting-edge innovation. The country is a global leader in technological advances, with its startups and tech firms often referred to as the Silicon Wadi. This prowess in technology is an echo of the resilience and adaptability the nation has displayed throughout its history. But there's more to Israel than just technology. A walk down any Israeli street reveals a cultural mosaic unlike any other. Jews from all corners of the globe, Arabs, Druze, Bedouins, Christians, and so many more, all call this land home, contributing to its rich and diverse cultural fabric. And yet, in the midst of this progress and diversity, the scars of past conflicts remain visible. The ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a stark reminder of the complex realities born out of historical divisions and disputes. The political landscape, too, is a direct result of the country's past. It's a living testament to the tumultuous journey the nation has embarked upon since its inception. The economic landscape, meanwhile, tells a story of growth amidst adversity, of a nation that has learned to thrive even in the harshest of circumstances. Understanding Israel's layered past helps us grasp the complex realities of its present. In a land as storied as Israel, myth and history often intertwine. Common misconceptions, like the belief that Israel was a land without a people, or the notion that it was solely a promised land, often cloud our understanding. The importance of archaeological evidence and rigorous historical analysis cannot be overstated. These tools help us separate fact from fiction, painting a more accurate picture of Israel's rich past. Distinguishing myth from fact not only enriches our understanding of Israel but also respects its deeply rooted truths.